Okay, good morning. So we're up to Siman Kuf Samach Ches Halacha Zayin, correct. So we're working through the halachas of Hamotzi, and now we come to a very important sif which defines what is Mezonos, what is Pas Habo B'Kisnin. And it's something which we take for granted. We take a pretzel, we take a piece of cake, pizza, whatever. We make a Mezonos without thinking. But the trouble is, what exactly differentiates Hamotzi and Mezonos? That's going to be the issue. So let's go through. Pas Habo B'Kisnin. There are three definitions of what it could be, and we are machmeh for all of them. We make Mezonos on all of them. Pas Habo B'Kisnin, Yesh Mefarshim. There is one school of thought that it is Pas Ha'osu Kumin Kisim. They're made with pockets. Shememalim Oisod Devash Sukkah, like a pie. And in those pockets we put honey or sugar, ve'egoizim, shkedim, tavlin, nuts and almonds and spices, ve'hem nikroim rishkelish or rilchashu, whatever that is. Ve'yesh omrim shehi issa. So that's one opinion. It's like a filled pie. Ve'yesh omrim shehi issa. Others say it is a dough. She'erev bod dvash, a shemen, a cholov, that you mix it with honey or oil or milk, or mine tavlin or other spices, often you bake it. V'hushiatam tarovas hameiperes or tavlin nika, and it's got a flavor of that flavored juice. V'yesh omrim adds the Ramah, shezen nikra paskom. That's actually considered bread. It's just like a sweet challah or something. Elim kein yesh boim harbe tavlin. It's got to have a lot of these spices. Or dvash k'minei mesika shekarin lekach. It's got to be so much that it changes the whole nature of the thing. It's considered like a chocolate cake rather than a sweet challah. Shekimat, it continues in the top of the next page. Shekimat hadvash v'atavlin hem ikka. It's almost that they're the ikka. V'chein nagin, Rashi, v'orach v'chein yesh lefarish das Rambam. V'yesh mefarshim, and a third opinion about what is the definition of Mezonos of Pas Habo B'Kisnin. V'yesh mefarshim shehu pas. Bein metuveres, bein meshveres, whether it's spiced or not. She'osim osom ka'ovim yeveshim v'koisim osom. They're like thin crackers. V'heim hanikroim bishkanish, or whatever that means. V'halacha k'divrei kulam, and the halacha is like all three of those opinions. She'lechol elu hadvarim nosim dinim shamarnu v'pas habo b'kisnin. They have the status of pas habo b'kisnin. So through a machlokes in the Rishonim, what is the definition of pas habo b'kisnin? It's either a filled pie, either a flavored dough, or some sort of brittle, thin cracker type. So we're familiar with all of those, and we make a Mezonos. We call all of those Pas Habo B'Kisnin. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Siv Kotzen Chaf Zayin, Shemamalim Oison. So the first opinion is we fill it with some sort of fruit or something else. Rotzaloma Af Im Sheloi Ochel, Af Im Niloishem Etchila B'Mayim Kashapas. Even though you knead it with water like other breads. Since you fill the dough with these things, after amilu ikka esla, even though the ikka is that, mikol mokum min dog and choshev in a bottle, the Mezonos status has not been bottled. You make one brach on the apple pie, Mezonos, and that covers everything. However, you always get there's some people, you've got to find a partner at the Shabbos table when it comes to dessert. There's some people who like the Mezonos, the crumble, and some people like the apple, right? If you're only eating the apple, you don't eat, you don't eat the crumble, and you only eat the fruit, then if you're only eating the apple of the apple crumble, then you only make a Mezonos. You only make a ber pruitz. That if you take the fruit and if you take away the fruit and you eat rak the issa, don't start saying, well, you're only having the Mezonos and therefore I should make hamotzi on it. No, it's still got a status of hamotzi, even if you're just the crumble man. Velo hamotzi din kisnin, because it's got a din of pas habo kisnin kimin shenefe in milu peres, because it was baked with all the fruit inside it. She'en derech likboa suda al pas kazu. You're not kaver suda on such a sort of thing. Okay, chaf ches ve'egoizim shkedim. You fill it with nuts or with almonds. It's either or. Or mistabra demairi gamkin. That the actual flavor of the apple or the nuts or whatever, it sort of pervades in the actual Mezonos. The actual dough is flavored. Be'es halisha, it was doughed with it becomes changed. V'hainu afilu hoyo roiv ma'am, even if you got the majority is water, kimin she'erev bo gamkein minim elu, since you've included other things, v'alidei zeh nishtane hatam, and through that the taste has changed. Mikri pas v'kisnin, it's called pas habo b'kisnin. Lamed nika be'issa, the ilav hochi, it's got to be so flavored. This is the second definition. Again, 3 definitions of what Mezonos is: either a filled pie, a flavored dough, or thin brittle crackers. On the second one, that it's a flavored dough, it's so much flavor that it's nikar be'issa. The ilav hochi, because if it's not so recognizable, have a lechem gomer. Sometimes women bake a very like a sweet challah. That's sometimes I heard one of mashkiach always says he says to his wife, "Oh, it's so delicious, I can make a Mezonos on it." Right? He's not wrong. If it's so flavored, then it could be. But the ilav hochi, because if it's not nikar be'issa, then it could be a din of hamoitzi. V'lechem shenoistin by zafron, I think that's saffron. La'atzima v'la'anoi. So if you add spices to flavor it, or shenoistin by ma'at simukin, or you put a bit of raisins in, l'kulal melechem gomerhu. That's still considered lechem gomer. So it's coming up to Rosh Hashanah. Sometimes you put a bit of raisins in the challah, or you put some honey on it. That's still considered pas. It's just got a little bit of flavoring. It's got to be very, very flavored, like a chocolate cake, to change it from hamoitzi to a Mezonos. Shezen nikra lamed aleph hainu hechad erev ba halisha rak ma'at dvash. If you only have a little bit of honey or milk or whatever, ain't a bottle shem pas machmas shenigr shatam. That's not enough. That it's just because I tasted a little bit. That's not enough to take it away to make it into a Mezonos. Pas gomer mavarech hamoitzi lechol shu v'chem berchas hamozon lechazais kedin pas. And then if it has the status of hamoitzi, and then you bench as normal. Lamed Gimel, the Ramah says that you need to really change the flavor. Harbe tavlin udvash v'rotzolema shekol kach tavlin. It's going to have so much spices mu'urav bohen mixed into it. Alidei zeh minkar tavlin betam yosim me'akemach. I can taste the chocolate more than the flour. V'chein b'dvash v'shemen v'cholav bo'inish yaroiv mehen u'mi'at mayim. Shalidei zeh nirgash mehen hatam harbe moed. You can really fill the flavor. Ad shalidei zeh him ikav hatam ho'is tofel. V'chein b'tziyah rishon, and so too in the first case. Shekosva shulchan aruch shemalim mehem. The first definition, i.e., it's a filled dough, an apple pie or something. But in gamkein shia hamilu harbe, you got to have a lot of apple in it. Kol kach shalidei zeh hu nirgash hatam harbe moed. You just put a few pieces of apple in it, then it's no different to your challah raisin that you've got a few raisins in it. That doesn't change it into a Mezonos. It's got to have a lot of fruit in it. Lamed daled v'chein noyagin. So this is still going on the second definition. She'oisvin alechem mishne pas im ma'at shemen v'tavlin v'chein iskim achrenim la'lochich b'sak harmo. There's got to be a very lot of flavoring to change it into a Mezonos. Okay, and then the third definition was this sort of cracker type breads, ka'ovim yeveshim. Says the Mishnah Berurah, kach shmo ba'aravi. That's what it's called in Arabic. Or Cholosh and Sfarad nikra buskish, whatever that is. V'nasis mechameshes minei dogon u'v'mayim levad, and it's made like a thin crackers or pretzels or things like that. It's made with flour and water. Ach ba'fiyos nasim yeveshim kol kach at shenifrochim. It's become so brittle that you can easily sort of break it. Ve'ein zeh nikra oichel ela koises. It's not considered bread, but rather crackers. Ve'ein darkem lechol mizeh harbe lochein ein lo din pas. And therefore, you don't eat a lot of it generally, pretzels and crackers. So therefore, it hasn't got a din of pas. So just to summarize today's sif, the Mechaber has given 3 definitions of what pas habo b'kisnin is: either a filled pie, or a flavored dough, or a thin, brittle cracker type thing. Either of those have got a din of Mezonos and alamichya, and not pas, not hamoitzi and berchas hamazon. Say that.